It's Dr. YaYa.
Hey y'all, what's going on? Y'all know what it is. It is me. Oh, I am excited about life. I'm excited about today, y'all. Y'all know what it is. It's your girlfriend. It's your good Judy. It is your big sister. It's your auntie. Whatever I need to be to you to get my point across that you're able to live a great and happy life. It's good to see you, Cool Karma. Thank you for joining me on tonight. You guys know that I give you 30 minutes of practical wisdom and common sense. How you doing, Chris? Thanks for joining us on this night. So, you guys know. Well, let me say this first. Let me get the commercials out of the way. Go to www.askdryaya.com, your premier personal development brand, and your favorite. I said your favorite celebrity consultant. That would be me. Y'all know what it is. Go to Facebook, Ask Dr. YaYa. Go on over there and like the page and follow the page. And how you doing, Doug? It's good to see you. So after I get all these commercials out of the way, it's great. It's wonderful. I absolutely affirm that every lesson that you need to learn today, you learned it and that you learned it well. I also affirm that every bit of inspiration that you needed to encourage you today, that you absolutely got it and it encouraged you to the full. Okay, y'all. The commercials are finished. You guys know how we do. I get the email when you get the email. When Raquel sends me the email, I'm reading for the first time into your hearing. And that's how we do. So the only thing I know, hey sis, what's going on? It's good to see you. The only thing that I know is what the title says. And the title says, he said that my love was trash. I want to know what the hell's going on. I would, this gonna be a crazy type email I'm answering tonight. I need to know. I gotta see. I'm sure we're all excited about this thing. So, how you doing? It's good to see you, Mom. So let's get right into it, right? Let's get into this email. Wow, interesting. It says, my boyfriend and I have an active sex life. Well, I'm glad somebody is having an active sex life. But continuing. I will say that we had a number of partners before we met. I recently asked him why he always wants oral from me. Does he really enjoy my oral? He said it's not really that it's so great. I just prefer that better than your coochie. You know, this is a family show, and you know how families do. When people say, "Oh, don't curse," no, that's what families do. Stop saying that. When people say it's a family show, that means y'all letting it all hang out. So I got to say the opposite. It's not a family show. So we're going to keep it. We're going to keep it nice and civil because family is not always civil, right? So again, let me continue. It says, I just prefer that better than your coochie because it feels loose. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Dr. YaYa, is it possible for vaginas to get loose? P.S. I was told that because we have babies, our vaginas always go back to how it was. Oh, you poor thing. Okay, let's do a little recap, shall we? Before I get into all of this practical wisdom and knowledge and common damn sense. Okay, this is it. So this is interesting to me because first, let me just say this. Grown people, stop asking people if you're not ready for the answer. Stop asking people questions and you know you're not ready for the answer. Okay? Don't do that. That bothers me, especially about women. Women ask you a question, especially when it comes to a man, ask a question, and then when he answers and the answer is not what she was expecting, because I don't think you should ever ask a question and expect a certain answer. If that were the case, you shouldn't be asking, right? So you ask this question, and when he answers, you get upset, you're offended, and he's mean. That's not how any of that works. That's not any of that works at all. Okay? So, don't ask people questions that you really don't want to know the answer to. Doug says she needs to do Kegels and soak in Epsom salt. See, he's familiar. He's familiar. He's familiar. But what's more disturbing, you guys, is that she said that she was told, because we have babies, that our vaginas don't get loose. It always goes back. Well, first, let's do this educational segment real quick. No, ma'am, that is not the case. That is not the case. Your vagina is a muscle, and as with any muscle, it should be exercised to the fullest. Now, having children will cause the vagina to get loose, certainly depending on how many children that you have. Also, not only childbirth, but aging. Aging will also cause you to have naturally lose the tightness in your vagina. Okay, that will happen too. Now, there are a lot of people who say, well, it's a myth that too many sex partners will cause looseness. And I don't necessarily adhere to that. And I'm going to tell you why. Because when something is always pushing and pulling, let's consider a rubber band, shall we? Let's consider a rubber band. If you keep using a rubber band, after a while, it will get loose, right? It will get loose. That's what happens. And I feel the same way about the vagina. So yes, it's possible for your vagina to get loose. That is certainly possible. And the only way that you know that it's loose for yourself personally is that if you cannot hold, and a lot of people don't know this, but we're gonna get right into it. Besides a man telling you that your vagina is loose, most of the time men won't really tell you that, because women are extra sensitive. Women have this tendency to think that everything about them is bomb. They act like their titties don't sag. They act like, they still look the same way they did when they were a sweet 16. And that is not the case. Okay? That is not the case. So let's deal with the realities of some things. And that's reality. So here we are. And yes, it can certainly be loose. Anytime you're pushing and pulling against a muscle, there are certain things that are absolutely going to happen. So, like I was saying, besides a man telling you, "Well, my you're a little loose. I don't, well, I don't know what's going on." He can't really say that, because again, women get offended for some reason. I don't know. I would think that you would want to know, because there are ways that you can fix it. The other part is that if you're unable to hold your urine, you do not have a strong pelvic wall. I have a friend who is a gynecologist, and the main thing that he hears a lot of women saying, "Oh, my coochie tight, my coochie tight." Not so. Not so. 8 out of 10 women do not have a strong pelvic floor at all. Do not have a strong pelvic floor. And so, I understand that somebody's feelings going to get hurt. Dr. YaYa, I can't believe you said that. I got the WAP. I got it going on. Okay. All right. That's all fine. That's great. But I'm answering this email, and I might reach you where you are because I'm answering this email. Right. So that's another way that you can tell if you cannot hold your urine. And that is one way that your doctor will tell you to start doing your Kegels. If you go to the bathroom, you tighten your muscle to cut it off, and you release it to let it go and things like that. My main concern is, who told you? Where are these people getting their information about the vagina? This is why I don't understand. I mean, it's your vagina. It's your vagina. And you do what you will with your vagina. I just think you ought to get some better information about it as we dig deeper. And now that was my little general information. Okay, that is my general information as pertains to this email. But if we dig deeper into this email, he's always wanting oral sex from her. And so he says, it's not that I really, really like your oral sex is great. It's not like you even putting it down like that. It's just that, you know, it's better. It's better than your coochie. It's better than the cat that you're holding. It's better than what you bring into the table. Is that a real reason for offense? I mean, if we think about it, is that a real reason for offense? Because she's the one who asked the question. She's the one who said, why do you always want that from me? Why do you always want it? If it's because I'm just so great. And he said, no, it's not that you're so great. It's just that your coochie's trash. And if we're going to deal with each other, I prefer to have the head than the box. So, well, Cool Karma, the reason why we had to put love is trash is because we cannot use the sex word. We can't use the sex word and post it up on the video, right? So it would have had been we couldn't spell it out, should I say. Like in the headline, we can't spell it out. There are a lot of censoring that goes on in the video. So you can't put, your sex is trash or your coochie is trash. So that's why she had to put your love is trash. Yeah, because then, we'll get censored. And I'm like, why is all this censoring going on? What the hell? So that's why we put your love is trash. But in this instance, we understand that love is trash simply means your sex is trash. Simply means that your coochie is trash. And I don't really think that he said the coochie is trash. He just said it's not better than her head because her coochie is loose. Now, there are some things, and Doug is putting y'all up on game. Doug said, look, you got these Yanni weights to tighten the muscles. You got Benoit balls to tighten the muscles. You have, what did your grandmama used to use back in the day? Vinegar and cornstarch. Did somebody mention cornstarch, Raquel? I remember somebody mentioning that. But anyway, so there are things that you can do to tighten it up. There are certain things that you can do to tighten it up with the understanding and knowing that, yes, these things happen. Yes, your coochie will get loose with childbirth. Yes, your coochie will get loose with age, but there's something that you can do to help that along, right? Because it is a muscle. The vagina is a muscle. And so there's something that you can absolutely do to fix that, where it's not a problem. I think the problem lies in somebody telling you that your coochie is loose. I think most women don't have a problem with the vaginal changes. I think most of y'all are not used to somebody telling you that there's a vaginal change. You cannot honestly think, with this PS that she wrote, I was told that because we have babies, our vaginas always go back to how it was. Listen, it takes 9 to 10 months to have a baby. Your body is adjusting for that. Your body is adjusting for that. But if you're not having a baby and if somebody is fisting you, excuse my language, I know y'all conservative in here and y'all really don't know anything about fisting and stuff like that. Look it up if you will. But if somebody is out here fisting you and going through all of these changes, yes, that muscle is going to change. It's going to change. Let's be real, because y'all having some real sex out here in these streets. Okay? But that's not how any of that works. Just because you have babies doesn't mean that your vagina is always going to bounce back. It's not what that means. Not what that means. It does mean that you give yourself time to heal and you work on getting that feeling back. Like I said, the majority of men won't tell you. The majority of men will not come and say, that's just real. Money, it's good to see you, Money. The majority of men will not, because they don't like to fight and they don't feel like arguing and they want to keep getting the coochie no matter how loose it is, right? Only in this situation will you get your feelings hurt because you want to ask. You want to ask a question that you really don't want the answer to. You want to answer the question. You want to ask the question because you feel like, oh, he's going to tell me that I'm the best thing since sliced bread. Because I don't think a lot of women want the truth when it comes to their sex. Okay? I don't think, I don't think Vet says stop letting these men wear that part of your body out. That's so true. That's so true. In this day and age, everybody humping. Everybody think that's the thing to do. And there's nothing wrong. Sex is natural. If you desire to have sex, there's nothing wrong with it. It's a great thing. Okay? Releases endorphins. You just don't have to have it with everybody. But then again, you're in a no judgment zone, and that's not my business. Right? If you want to have sex with everybody, have sex with everybody. That's on you. But when it comes to get your feelings hurt about a man saying your coochie is loose, now that's a problem. Excuse me. Now that's a problem. Because now you're writing to me and you're upset. And you're like, I don't believe him. I don't believe that my coochie is loose because I was told my coochie could never get loose. That's not true. I don't know why your grandmama told you that. I don't know what your auntie said to make you believe that. But yes, ma'am, your coochie can get loose. No matter how many times you think you got that bomb B. No matter how many times you thought, ooh, I put it down. Well, guess what? We really don't know that. The only way we know that if we ask the man if he is how he is. So Karma has a very good question. Maybe he's a bad lover. It could be that, hey, he's the bad lover. But see, that goes back to what I was saying. Okay? She asked him the question, though. She asked him the question, why are you always wanting to have oral sex? Right? So he answers, your mouth is better than your coochie. I don't see that how that makes him a bad lover because of his honesty. So, and I think sometimes when we think that way, when we as women think because we don't receive criticism or correction well for some, I'm not going to say we because I'm not a part of that group, but some women don't. And so instead of, yes, absolutely, brutally honest. But this is the thing, Money. She asked him. He did not volunteer this information. Yes, they're dating. She started off, you came in kind of late. I'm going to read this email again. And I want you guys to listen to it because you guys may have some questions. And I'm going to get back to Cool Karma's about him being a bad lover. We're going to discuss that. My boyfriend and I have an active sex life. I will say that we had a number of partners before we met. I recently asked him why he always wants oral from me. Does he really enjoy my oral? He said it's really not that it's so great. I just prefer that better than your coochie because it feels loose. Dr. YaYa, is it possible for vaginas to get loose? P.S. I was told that because we have babies, our vaginas always go back to how it was. Right? So there it is. There it is. Well, right. Okay. Here we go. So, because Cool wants to know, is he a bad lover? Because she said normally the woman does not get satisfied when she gives a BJ as only a sexual practice, which you're absolutely right, because she's not being stimulated in that way, unless women just like to give blowjobs like that. So you're absolutely right. But I think in this regard, she was saying that their sex life is active, right? So she started off by saying, you guys, the sex life is active. So to me, that means not only are they having oral sex, but they're having, vaginal intercourse and everything else. So if it's very active, that's not a problem. But I think he desires more of the oral from her because of the looseness he feels of her coochie. So her confusion is, I don't understand that because I was told that coochie cannot get loose. So first we have to dispel the myths of that, and then break down the fact that there's something that you can do about that. You don't have to be offended by it. You don't have to be hurt by it. And the reason why I say she doesn't have to be offended is because she asked a question. He didn't volunteer and say, hey, look, you know what? I'm going to need some of that fire head you got because your coochie ain't cutting it. Damn, girl, just... That's not what he said. He didn't volunteer that type of information. He didn't volunteer that type of information. He just answered her question, right? He just answered her question. He didn't say he didn't love her. He didn't say he hated her. He didn't say you get on my nerves. It's no sign that he's cheated on this woman. He was just being very honest about why he likes for her to finish him off instead of him finishing off in her vagina. He likes to get his off in her mouth. Okay. And he answered that question as, I guess, as honestly, as Money said, brutally honest as he possibly could. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with how he answered. My issue is that she doesn't believe vaginas can get loose. That's a problem. That is a problem. Because she's been misinformed. Misinformed. Miss Kelly says maybe more foreplay between them. Absolutely. I think everybody could go another 10 minutes or 20 minutes of foreplay. I certainly agree with that. Does it deal with a loose coochie? Absolutely not. But it gives them more level of intimacy. Certainly does. It certainly does. I certainly agree with that. So can we absolutely, this is the thing, can we absolutely be honest in our relationships when it comes to sexual satisfaction? Can we be honest? I know most people feel like they cannot be honest. I know, I understand that because they feel like hurt feelings. But wait a minute, if we're building this relationship, if we're in this relationship, and we say we want people to be honest, we say we want people to tell the truth, but it seldomly ever gets done when it's time to talk about sex. The only time we're truthful when it comes to talking about sex is asking, do you like to have it? That's the only time people are honest. Do you like to have sex? Hell yeah. Okay. You know? Chris says some women get off by the pleasure they give the man with oral. I agree with that. Some of them do. Some of them do. Others don't. Everybody is absolutely different. Money says it's not how it's said. It's how it's said, not what is said. So now we have to tiptoe with our truth in most cases. Why? Because a lot of people weren't raised. I'm not going to talk about y'all's mamas and y'all's daddies. I'm just saying this. Whew, have mercy, y'all. How many minutes I got? But anyway, and you know, Money has a point because a lot of people are not raised to accept how the truth is handled. How you doing? I see my brother Ike. What's going on? Glad to see you. So a lot of people, you hear me? Cool. I'm y'all. Money, don't laugh at me. Cool. Don't laugh. Y'all don't laugh at me. But you know, I'm serious. Okay. Some people are not raised to especially women are not raised to handle certain criticisms. They're not. You say something to them and they want to interject. They want to jump up and, you know, because they act like it's a personal thing, like it's an affront to them. But then you say, I want a man to be honest. I want a man to be real. What? Are you sure? Or you just want it to be real when it feels good? You know, you got to know where you are. Okay. You're absolutely right. Look, Miss Kelly says some women will go to the doctor to have their stuff tightened. They absolutely will. That's called a vaginal plasty. It certainly is. It certainly is. I had a friend of mine been married to her husband for over 30 years. And for their, I think it was their 32nd wedding anniversary, she went and got vaginal surgery to get it tightened up. He said it was the best things ever. I mean, and, you know, they had 4 children. So yes, some women absolutely do. So is there an issue with having a loose coochie? Probably for your ego. But you can do things to fix it. You can do things to fix it. Now, it's certainly a problem, like I said before, when you absolutely don't believe that a woman can have loose coochie. I'm like, where in the hell are you guys living? Where did you get that? It's a muscle. It's a muscle. And so that's why doctors will tell our gynecologists and obstetricians will tell us, you know, when you're going to the bathroom, when urinating, try to stop the flow of urine. Those are the muscles. Those are your pelvic floor muscles, right? So, yeah, that's it. Yeah, money. I said, yeah, money. I said that the only way that women don't want to hear, the reason this loose coochie is not a problem for women, it's only a problem when they hear it from a man, because you can fix your loose coochie, right? Whether you go to a surgeon, whether you tighten your muscles during Kegels, whether you use, you know, Benoit balls or yoni weights or whatever. Okay, you can fix that. But her ego, if she hears from a man that she has loose coochie, then that's an issue. That's a problem. I'm upset. You know? Yeah. Okay. So Cool says men's size don't matter and women's size don't matter either. I believe it's a deeper crisis when a man says your coochie is trash. Well, you know what? That is very interesting. And that is a high way. That's how can I put this? That is a nice, dignified, mature way of thinking about it. But if we're real about it, size absolutely does matter. And it matters because people like to feel something when they're having sex. Now, understand that there's levels of intimacy, sex being one of them. Now, we can hold hands. We can look in each other's eyes. We can give each other a massage. That's a level of intimacy. But that physical part, that sexual part, is also a level of intimacy. And the purpose of us coming together is to feel something. Is to feel something. So for some women, they have to, you know, they have to, it's a certain feeling that they want. For men, it's a certain feeling that they want. So yes, it absolutely does. We like to say it doesn't because we like to, you know, think that we're deeper people and we have these meaningful type relationships. But when you get right down to sexual activity, I need to feel something. Because then what's the use? What's the use? So in that regard, yes, it does. Size does matter. It does matter. And if I just look at me, you know, because I can only talk about me, we're in a no judgment zone. Some women will brag and say, whoo, I want mine. Ooh, I want him to have a big thing. I want him to, I'm not that girl. I'm not that girl. Look, if you coming to me with 9 and all that other stuff, you can keep that. Hold that. Keep it close to you because I don't want it. I'm good over here. Okay? I'm good over here. I have a vagina, not a cave. That's just the way I think. But then I have other friends who say, girl, I need, if I find a man with 10 inches. Why? Because she feels like that's what she needs to feel something. So in regard to sexual activity, we like to feel something, right? We like to feel something. But when it comes to other parts of intimacy, like love and being close with someone and having that mental and emotional stimulation, no, in that regard, size does not matter. But when it comes to us being physical, when it comes to us being able to feel something, we have to be honest with ourselves, because there is no way a man who has an inch penis, we're gonna be real, and I'm almost out of here, has an inch penis, his woman is gonna look him in the face and say, oh baby, you know, I love you, your size doesn't matter. No, what she's saying is, emotionally, I'm so connected to you, right? And I want to encourage you, and we have different levels of intimacy. So I don't want to talk about that other part right now. But when it's time to get sexual, when it's time for us to get into a place where we want to have some fantastic sex, I'm going to need you to bring that toy that you always bring. And we need to be able to have these type conversations. Right? We need to be able to have these type conversations. Loose coochie can be fixed, but not limp penis. Go figure. No, actually, limp penis can be fixed. It's up to the man if he wants to fix it. Limp penis can be fixed. Loose coochie and limp penis, all can be fixed. Absolutely. Absolutely. But it's a matter of being honest. It's a matter of, and sometimes you have to get brutally honest. It's not always a good sight. But if we say we want realness and honesty in our relationships, it just can't come in certain ways that we communicate. It just can't come when we're having a disagreement and I want you to be honest. No. It has to come when I ask this question and I say, babe, you know, like she did, babe, man, you don't really come inside me. You always want me to give you head so you can come. My head is that bomb, babe, that you need it. No, it's just your coochie is loose, and I just wanna come in your mouth. That'll take some people over the edge. But if you're not ready to go over the edge, stop asking those type of questions. Stop. Just stop. So there it is. And I have given you 30 minutes of practical wisdom and common damn sense. Why? Because it's what I do. So I hope I answered this question. I thank you for coming, sitting with me, participating in this, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Remember, you are loved, you are valued, and you are appreciated. Until the next episode, I'll see you again, and I love you.